William Shatner. Hey guys, it's Andrew from 510 Books. I'm here at my house, and those are all Star Trek Star Wars book lots that I sold over the weekend. It is Sunday, November 6th, 2022. I want to talk about these book lots that I got, or rather, all of these books I had donated to me. There's somebody that's come to my store a bunch, and I have actually bought some things from them. Regardless, but they were getting rid of all of these Star Wars and Star Trek books that they had. Turns out they had roughly 15-ish bags of Star Wars and Star Trek. There was more Star Trek than Star Wars. Man, there was a lot. So I spent quite a lot of time going through all of those and sorting them out. I had no familiarity with those series in terms of, what goes together and what came first and what are good collections to sell, that type of thing. So I had to do my research, which I did largely on eBay and a little bit on the internet, but mostly just on eBay, just to find out, what types of Star Wars and Star Trek book lots sell. But of course, as I went through the books, I would sort them Star Trek first, and I finished all that, and then I went on to Star Wars. But as I was going through the Star Trek books, I was putting them out, putting them in piles based upon if they looked like they were in the same series. Some of them will say book 1 of 4. It'll say, like these here say Star Trek log. Ends up that there's 10 of them. There's Young Jedi Knights that's very popular. And there's some other stuff that turns out goes for good money. There's another one that I haven't sold yet. It is Star Trek Next Generation, and I think it's 63 in the whole series, in that particular series, because there's other ones as well. I don't fully get it, but there's 63, and I had all except one. I think I didn't have the 59th one, wasn't in there, so they collected almost all of them. Ended up putting them all together, have it listed on eBay, asking $100 for it plus shipping. It sells for a little more than that, when you have all of them. I'm only missing one. So yeah, I could hypothetically buy it on eBay and have it sent to me and then put it in the lot, but I'm just going to sell what I have. So in regards to this type of stuff, with my store, with my book, music, and movie store that I've had for 3 years now, being there for quite a while, I get a lot of people lately, especially giving me or donating books, CDs, DVDs, especially lately a lot of books. So people will drop them off. They don't want them anymore. Instead of them going to one of the thrift stores, they're dropping it off to me because they know what I am interested in, what I'm looking for, the kind of stuff I deal with. So that's over time happened, and this is part of that. Someone that found my store quite a while ago, and they just decided to get rid of all their Star Wars and Star Trek books. They had 9 shelves worth, apparently. And for instance, anyway, so that kind of stuff comes in. I don't always know about it. I have to educate myself, learn about it enough at least to be able to put decent lots together and sell it. The point I want to make is, as part of this video, is to have patience, right? That sometimes what's going to happen a lot of the time, whether it is, well, especially with eBay, Amazon has a lot of the data that you need to figure out whether something is worth selling. eBay, if you're dealing with lots, you're willing to put in the time, you can learn about this stuff, and it can be, you can make good money at it, but you got to put in the effort and the time. So now that I've sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the lots that I just put up within the last couple of days of the Star Trek and Star Wars lots, I'm seeing already, the money for my effort. So one of those lots, which was only, I think, 13 books, sold for $60 plus shipping. So there's a lot of potential there. The Shatner one, not so much, like $11 plus shipping. But that's what I mean. I saw 7 William Shatner books. I put them all together in a lot, and it sold pretty quickly. So I still have quite a few to sell, but it was worth it to put in the time because number one, I'm gonna make some money off of them. Number two, I learned about this stuff. So if I see Young Jedi Knights, if I see, oh, that's right, I sold two other lots as well. Sorry, I sold 2 other lots, so I've sold 7 total. 8 if you count the other ones that they brought me that were not Star Trek and Star Wars, but they were from the same people. They brought me these Ellery Queen books from the 40s and 50s, and I sold that pretty quick. Put 37 of them, I think, together, and I sold it for like $35 plus shipping. Went super fast. So that's actually 8 lots I've sold so far. So it's worth it to learn about this stuff, get the experience, so that when in the future, if I get these kind of books again, I don't know if I'll ever get this many, but if I come across a decent amount, I can have an idea of what could sell and whether it's worth my time. So it can be, that's the thing about eBay. You can apply this to Amazon as well, but especially with eBay because you're having to keep the items before they sell. You're having to store them, which means you're having to look at them all the time, wherever you store them, whether it's, in your house, in your garage, in the storage unit, in a warehouse, wherever it is, it's got to sit somewhere until it sells, until you ship it. So you've got to have the patience to be able to deal with that. There's some book lots that I have in the warehouse. They've been sitting there for quite a while. I tossed out a couple of them that hadn't sold in a long time. So you kind of got to be a little ruthless with that if you need to free up space for new lots. But you had to be patient, long term. I don't mean years. If you have the room and the patience, you can wait years for some things to sell. But with lots, especially books, it can take up a lot of space. So unless they are very lucrative and they actually do sell, then you're not going to want to keep stuff that's selling for low money and taking up a lot of space. But again, it depends on the amount of room you have and your tolerance or your patience level you have. Because I don't have that great of a patience for selling this kind of stuff. But I do know the more that I list, the more I learn about what sells, the more I'll sell. So this is the kind of thing that it was tedious to go through the process of sorting through everything, figuring out what to sell, and then having to photograph them, list them. So it took me quite a while. So part of my mind is thinking, this stuff is free. I could just chuck it in the dumpster and move on to something else. But there's money there. And now I'm starting to reap those rewards, those financial rewards. Money's coming in. So it ends up that it was worth it. And I've learned something. So that's the thing about eBay. You got to constantly learn. There's so many different things, even within just books and media, that you can sell, different ways of selling things, that the more you know, the more you can spot, whether it's being given to you or whether you're out there sourcing, you can spot things. Like if I saw all 12 or whatever it was of, Young Jedi Knights, there's another one called, it was like Apprentice or something like that. Jedi Apprentice or something. They were actually kids chapter books. I only had, I think, like 7 or 8 of them, and there's 20 in the set. If you have all 20, you can sell it for as much as like $130 on eBay. So if you happen to just come across all 20 in a thrift store or in someone's garage sale or estate sale, you can pick them up for super cheap and then flip them for over $100. It's good to know that stuff. So now I have that stuff in my brain, so that when I'm going out there in the wild, or things are coming to me, that I have a better idea now of Star Trek and Star Wars books. Again, I'm still not an expert, but this moves me closer to being at least, semi-competent in Star Trek and Star Wars books. These are all paperbacks, by the way, not hardcovers. I didn't want to have any of their hardcovers; just takes up too much space. So that's some things to think about when you're doing eBay lots. Whether it is, books or CDs or DVDs, it's just that books in general will take up more space. They're heavier, they're bulkier. Paperbacks are better than hardcovers in terms of weight and space that they're going to take up. But you know what I mean? They're bigger than, the only other thing that's bigger and heavy are records. Of course, they take up space. You have a bunch of them together, they're pretty heavy. So CDs can be pretty heavy though if you have a whole banker's box full, 2 rows. That's heavy as well, but they just don't take up as much space. You can have way more stored away. Hold on one sec. So I'm glad they're starting to sell pretty quickly. I have 2 more boxes of banker's boxes. Again, I just listed these. They're just starting to sell. We'll see how quickly I can sell through them and how many sell. But I don't even have that much more to go through. A couple more boxes, roughly. But yeah, because when I get stuff for free as well, I do want to, I want to sell them quickly. Of course, I put in the time to research them and list them and photograph them, but I do want to move through them. I'm not going to list them dirt cheap, of course. $60 for that lot. I'm not going to take $20 because I know what they sell for. But I could have tried to push it. Actually, initially could have tried to get more for it. They initially offered me 40, and I said no. With this set, I know they go for more like 70, 80, 90. I think I had 13 of the 14. And so I offered 70. I came back with 70, counter with 70, and they accepted it. So I'm perfectly happy for a small amount of books I got for free for $60 plus shipping. So keep that stuff in mind. How much patience you have, how much room you have to store it, what you're willing to accept if you're doing offers on eBay, which I highly recommend. And see where that goes. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I really, really, really want to make more videos. I've just been swamped with lots of stuff coming into the store, lots of donations. I'm picking up a huge donation tomorrow. There might be another one coming in as well. It's just been a little bit hectic, and I haven't even gotten to those other gaylords of DVDs in the store because I've been getting so much other stuff in. But it's a good thing, but it's also, I'm having to move those around a lot. But that's a different video. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to my channel, I've been making videos for quite a while here on YouTube for, I think, 6+ years, back to 2016 at least, talking about reselling books and media. So books, CDs, vinyl records, DVDs, cassette tapes, VHS tapes, all that kind of fun stuff. And talking about all the businesses or my local business, my eBay, and Amazon. So definitely subscribe. See you next video. Take care.